Today we're discussing why women are furious that men are giving up on them and society. We are going to go ahead and just jump right into this article. I find it quite interesting. So, as you guys can see, this article, it's titled Lazy Girl Jobs and Ditching the 9 to 5. Gen Z's parents have failed them. I just love how they're immediately leveraging blame against society, against Gen X, and not actually looking at Gen Z as a whole. So basically, Gen Z women no longer want to work, and they're blaming Gen X and the older millennials for it. My social media feeds are filled with reposts from TikTok videos featuring Gen Z having a lot of issues with work, right? This is written by Carol Roth. Lazy girl jobs, encouraging women to seek out low stress, minimal effort, possibly remote jobs, but of course, high paying ones. I love it. Became a viral phenomenon. One young woman shared an on camera breakdown over working 9 to 5 because with commute, she was tired and didn't have enough free time. Guys, they're not positioned for real work or for the real world. While it's easy to dunk on these young people, I really blame the parents. This hurts because Gen Z is being raised in large part by Gen X. Of course, like I said, they're going to blame Gen X and the older millennials, which should make the kids awesome and self-sufficient. But alas, as we keep witnessing across social media, many young people are struggling here. And here's why. They have been let down. How can and they have been let down and how they can change it around. Okay. With young people consuming so much Marxist propaganda online, even in school, so okay, it is not entirely surprising that young people want to do as little work as possible and just expect that food, clothing, shelter, entertainment, and more will just fall from the sky for them. When you are young, you start from square one. You probably don't have much of a net worth, or perhaps a negative one, like I did after college loans. You don't have a lot of experience. So, yes, you have to work hard to take care of your needs and wants, and then over time, you can earn extra free time if you desire it. That doesn't mean you should neglect self care. It just means you need to be realistic and efficient. If you are too tired to work out when you get home because of a long commute, work out closer to your work's location when you have more energy. If meal prep is getting you down, prepare your meals on Sunday evening for the week. Finally, give it perspective. If you have a job you love or a great opportunity to learn, focus on what is amazing about those opportunities to which others don't have access. So, first off, let me just correct these people here. Gen Z can't cook, Gen Z can't clean. All right? Gen Z can barely read and write. Gen Alpha can't read and write at all. Okay? Gen Z can barely read and write. Gen Z cannot cook. Gen Z cannot clean. So meal prep goes right out the window because most of their disposable income is going either on rent and food or just on food because a lot of them are still living at home with mom and dad. All right. When I was young, my father instilled in me a sense of pride for whatever I did. Whether it well, that's another problem. A lot Gen Zers don't have proper father figures. If they even have a father in the home, he's a simp. When I was young, my father instilled in me a sense of pride for whatever I did. Whether it was making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as a worker in the kitchen of a day camp, yes, I did that job, to writing best selling books now. Whatever I do, my name goes on it, and I take putting my name on my work seriously. Many young people don't have pride in themselves or their work, which is their personal art and contribution to the world. The idea that you are seeking to be a lazy girl is absolutely emblematic of not having pride in yourself and how you spend your time. Don't worry, don't worry, Queen. God is gonna send that millionaire and that billionaire and that trillionaire, because Elon Musk ain't the only one. God made Elon so he can make someone for you too. Yes, Queen. Yes, yes, Queen. Yes. It doesn't mean that you have to get rid of your. It doesn't mean that you have to give all of yourself to work, but you have a privilege that very few people around the world and throughout history have had. You can choose how you want to earn a living and to support yourself. And you have a wide variety of choices, which you can change fairly easily and frequently throughout your life. Whatever you do, give yourself your all and be proud of what you are contributing to others and your own self fulfillment. When I was growing up, young people who were going through challenges worked out their problems in a couple of ways. One was a diary where they could vent their frustrations on paper and nobody was meant to read it. Or perhaps we sought counsel via a phone call with a friend or a discussion with a sibling. Yeah, those were in the old days. What we did not do is create a production. Oh my goodness, guys! Laughter is good for the heart. Laughter is good for the heart, my friends. Laughter is good for the heart. Oh boy, I tell you. Let's see here. Oh boy. What we did not do is create a production to share with the world and for millions of strangers to comment on, like I'm doing here. Personal growth can be a challenge at any age, so she's taking a swipe at TikTok. But it is amplified when you are young. As a young person, that's your personal struggle, and you do not need to broadcast that to the world. Again, something that your parents should have taught you. Guess their parents didn't raise them right, huh? Trying to use every aspect of your personal life for clicks or other attention isn't healthy and will end up causing more harm than good. Tell that to lonely fans and only fools, people, all right? In fact, it would be healthy to step away from the phone and learn to live in the moment in all that you do. They can never put down their phones. Are you crazy? Gen Z put down their phones? Guys, if you want to get Gen Z into Tent City and keep them there, it's very simple. Just make sure there is Wi Fi and food. That's it. They'll stay. All right. Wi Fi and food. A lot of them, they won't even try to leave. Okay. If they ever think about going out, if they ever think about trying to escape, it's literally like they're like, you're like, oh, what's up? How you doing? You all right? What? Listen to me. You know what? I got something for you. Oh, you want to leave? Listen, no. All right, listen. We'll work on that. We'll work with you. All right. But there's a process, because there's a process to get you in. There's a process to get you out. Because guys, once you go into Tent City, you don't come out of Tent City. You don't just come out of Tent City like that. All right. It's like Alcatraz. Once you go in, you're not coming out like that. All right. And when these people start asking questions and start making demands, well, there's gonna be guards, but they're gonna try to be easy about it first. First, they're gonna start offering you things like, okay, so listen, I have this candy bar for you. We have some. Oh, you want some pizza? Listen, sweet, I got some pizza for you. Listen, just feed them and make sure they and keep them distracted. That's how they're gonna keep. That's how they're gonna keep Gen Z and all the other miscreants that they put in Tent City. All right, they're gonna feed them, give them access to Wi-Fi, keep them distracted. All right, and that's it. And like I said, Tyrone is gonna be the king of Tent City. So it's not gonna be all. It's not all gonna be a cakewalk in there. But Jesus walks with me, so he can walk with them too. Let's continue. Try to get outside and just enjoy it. You don't need to share what you are doing. You don't need to do a broadcast or view nature through a phone camera lens. Just take the time to be present and enjoy the world yourself without feeling the need to include everyone or get their approval. So, to be fair, technically it was actually Gen X who invented social media, while it was millennials who pioneered social media. The first mainstream social networks are actually created by Gen Z, like MySpace, Friendster. That was all Gen Z. It was the millennials, however, who took that, flipped it on its head, and gave the world abominations like Facebook and you know and Twitter. Well, X, formerly Twitter. Let's see here. Mentorship can help Gen Z reach its potential. Where their parents may have failed, other people in their life can help. Young people should seek out relationships with people that they admire in real life, not on TikTok and Instagram, and get feedback when they are struggling. There are plenty of people who have decades of experience that can help make them more at ease with their personal and professional choices and with their perspectives. And people are usually willing to help if you ask kindly and make it easy for them to do so. What Gen Z needs to learn is that growth, challenges, and struggles are all a normal part of life, but broadcasting those to the world is not. So here's what's unfortunate about this writer. This writer seems to be disconnected from the reality that Gen Z is a lazy generation. Gen Z women are done with work. They don't want to do this work anymore. They want to live soft lives. They want easy lives where they can just go, chill, come, and pretty much, this dude right here, says Gen Z won't survive being homeless. They absolutely won't. They're not going to make it. The streets are hard. The streets are hard. But like I said, Tent City is there for a reason. There's someone, Kenneth Powell's actually said in the chat, they could have been stay-at-home moms, but they bought into the misandry and feminism. They did. They made that choice. They decided they wanted to be boss babes. They decided that that they were powerful victims. And now, like I've said this once and I'll say it again, they will no longer have access to these men. The men that are walking away from society, the black guys are doing it in droves right now. And you have a lot of black women that are complaining, that are saying that they don't care. And while they're crying their eyes out, saying that they're ready for a relationship right now, you have these women with their medical degrees saying that they had no choice to do what they did, but they want women to know that they can have both. They can have the family and they can have the career, but they don't have a family. All they have is a career, and they're absolutely miserable. And guys, this is how it is. The older generation of women set up the younger generation of women and spoon-fed them feminism and spoon-fed them all of this propaganda. And now this generation of women, the millennials and the old millennials and Gen Xers, are now trying to do the exact same thing all over again to women who are in their teens and 20s, telling them that they can have it all, even though these women are crying their eyes out. They're childless, they're single, they're miserable, they have nothing to show, but they're doing this because they want to validate their mistakes. They don't want to admit that they're wrong. So by saying that they were right, they're trying to validate it, even though they lost. They just won't take the L and go rest. No, they want to take everyone else down with them. That's for example, with a man, look at what I'm doing here. Look at what so many other men are on YouTube doing and are on social media doing. They're out here telling other young men, don't do these things. Don't make these mistakes. This is what it cost me. This is how it messed up my life. They're out here warning young men. I'm here warning young men, preaching to young men day in, day out, even men older than myself that still have not learned their lessons. I'm 40 years old now. I'm glad to be 40. I would never go back in time. And because of all the things I have learned, and I passed through a lot of those things once, I don't want to do it again. And it's like, as men, we warn young men, we warn other men. We'll say, bro, there's nothing good down there for you. There's nothing waiting for you down there, all right? There's nothing waiting for you, And other men, if they're smart, they listen. What do women do? They go down that path. They find that it completely brings nothing but misery, pain, and despair into their lives. And instead of admitting what they've done and coming forward and yelling at young women and saying, don't do this. Our mothers and our grandmothers, they lied to us. They told us that this is what we should do. And we went down that path, and look at what has happened to us. Do not do this, or else you're going to end up like us. They don't do that. They sit on their high horses. They will stay on their hill till the end of time. And they tell young women, girl, I did it, you could do it too, and all of this other jazz. And listen, I may not have a kid yet, but I'll be having one soon, and I'm gonna have the man I want, and I'm gonna have everything I want. All right, because you can have, I'm gonna have it, and you can have it too. Yes, girl, and you are a queen. Don't let anyone tell you what to do. One of the problems that we have, guys, I see videos from women now saying that women, especially black women, have their standards are too low. And that society it forces women, especially black women, to have lower standards than men. Lower standards. So women today believe that their standards are too low. They think that their standards are too low, and it's that men are just not keeping up with them. But what's crazy is that a lot of these women, you'll ask them, okay, so how much does he need to make? And they'll say he has to make over 6 figures. Okay. And how tall does he need to be? He needs to be at least 6 feet tall. Okay, so he needs to be at least 6 feet tall. He needs to make over 6 figures. Okay, what else? And he needs to be in shape. Yes. So what? Like a 6-pack? Yes. Okay, so he needs to have all of these characteristics. Is there anything else? And they'll give you an entire laundry list of all these other things. And then you'll say to her, okay, and what do you bring to the table? And her response is, any man that ask that question, I automatically disqualify him, because any man looking for me to bring something to the table is not ready for a relationship with a woman, because I am the table. My presence, just my presence in and of itself, will bring him up and elevate him and make his life better. How does that make sense? You want a high value man, but then you're claiming, and she's like, oh, when you'll notice that when a man gets a woman to his life, he starts to dress better, things start to go right in his life. But wait a minute, you want a man that already dresses well, and that already has all the money, and already has a good body. He's already fit, he's already handsome, he's already made his money, he already has influence, he has all of these things already. So how are you going to actually bring any of those things into his life? So you're going to make it even better? You're going to make him better than he's already? You're going to make him more handsome? You're going to make him more fit? You're going to make him more rich than he already is? You're going to increase his money? This is the delusion that they bring, guys. This is the delusion that they bring. Shout out to Calvin. Calvin says, good afternoon to you, angry guy, and salute. Good to see you, brother. One of you guys says MySpace was the stuff. It absolutely was. Absolutely was. Prusian says, yep, having children is a trap. It really is in modern day society. It really is. Prusian says that it's amazing how many people still think having children is a benefit or viable. We're long past that point. And the crazy thing is that women think that because they're the gatekeepers of reproduction, men will always have to come back to the table and negotiate with them, or there are no babies. They don't realize that men are giving up on that. Men are prioritizing their own individual survival over reproduction, because they see reproduction as a haphazard. Oh, well, then the world will come to an end. The population, chances are that's not going to happen anytime soon. And even if it were, men are basically saying, yeah, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Okay? Because the consequences far outweigh the benefits. And that's not even my baby. That's her baby and the state's baby. All right? And they can take them away at any given moment. That's why men are now conditioned to be ready to walk away at any given moment. What do you think about this, guys? Women are furious that men are giving up on them and society. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Men walking away. And cheers.